And you have to imagine the Archean has nothing but these anaerobic bacterial ecosystems, low-lying community everywhere on Earth. We call it the planetary petticoat, the undergarment of the Earth. This is the tissue of Gaia. If you plot on the map of eastern North America, from Halifax, Nova Scotia, all the way down to the southern part of South Carolina, is the same active mat. Now, people put houses and they destroy pieces of it, but it grows around. So you have a complete continuous existence of the fabric of life. Oh, here, let's see. You see, we have stuff that looks like sand, but it's not sand. It's all like a carpet. Can you get that idea that it's a carpet? See the strings there? Yeah.
Yes.
Those are Cyanobacteria, Filamentous Cyanobacteria, and they are the formers of the mat. That's what forms them. The strings, you see the strings pulling? There. Now, if you see a string with your eye, that means there are hundreds of little microscopic ones. Top layer, salt. Different kinds of salt and sand. Second layer, green. Does he see this? Can you see?
Yes.
Second layer, green. The cyanobacterial, masters of the world, the cyanobacteria. It's the highest level of evolution. Why? Because they live off carbon dioxide, plentiful, available. They live off sunlight as a source of energy, plentiful, available from the very beginning. Water. And that's all, all right? And that's all. Underneath, the pink. Now this is let me see if I can say this very clearly. The pink are also photosynthetic bacteria. But they use hydrogen sulfide, H2S, in photosynthesis, all right? So they take away the hydrogens to make their food, and they're left with sulfur. They are the ancestors of the green. Why? Because the green do something unbelievable. They use H2O for photosynthesis. They also take the hydrogens away and put it to the carbon to make their food. But if you take hydrogens away from water, what do you get? What's left? If you take hydrogens away from water, water is H2O. You take hydrogens away, what do you get? You have oxygen left. So whereas the pink ones deposit sulfur and are stuck completely if there's no volcanic H2S. If there's no H2S, they can't do anything. The green ones take H2O, so they can move anywhere. They can go anywhere because H2O is everywhere. And every place they go, they make oxygen bubbles. So they change the world. So they run the planet. We think we run the planet, but you wouldn't run it for long without food, and they are the ultimate food supply. And when you look at the plants around here, all this vegetation, the reason it's green is because their relatives, these green things, their relatives are inside those plant bodies. This is a completely different community. Looks terrible to you, probably, like vomit or something. These white bacteria can take the carbon and do it in the dark, but their source of energy is the hydrogen sulfide that it oxidizes to sulfate. So the point is that the waste of one is the food of the other, and that's how the ecosystem goes around. And if we didn't have the waste of one being the food of the other, we would be drowning, as we are, in the urine or feces equivalent of the production. These communities are recycling everything. There's nothing, and they're recycling everything, and they're also persistent through time, right? So if we would listen to them or watch them or understand what they were doing, we would recognize that you can't just throw things out. You never throw anything out. It goes around. Garbage doesn't go out, like out. It goes around and around. And the quality of life after the garbage is thrown out makes a lot of difference. Now, these bacteria have solved that issue. People haven't solved it at all. People are in the growing stage and the ruining stage. People are ruining their environment. These bacteria are producing an environment that's livable. So I think we have lots to learn from them. So they can run all the cycles, the nitrogen cycle, the carbon cycle, the oxygen cycle. So you say, what cannot they do? And the answer is they can't talk, they don't have bones, and most importantly, they can't make wood. That's the most important thing. The plants did something very important 400 million years ago. They made wood. And when they made wood, and not all the plants, of course, but the important plants, the forest plants, they made the biosphere go this direction. Because before that, the biosphere was flat. Slimy like this and flat. So the plants do something very important. They make wood. And that's about the only thing. Everything else bacteria do. Everything else important. They make all the sugars, all the acids, all the proteins, all the nucleic acids, the DNA and RNA, all the membranous fatty material, all the slime. They even precipitate iron and make magnets, magnetite. And they make rocks. They make those stromatolite rocks. They make that calcium carbonate. And you have iron precipitated in here. So the significance is that these bacteria, not only do they photosynthesize, but they accumulate large quantities of iron. And we know that in the gunflint regions, that is the northern part of Minnesota and the southern part of Ontario, that these are the great iron deposits of 2 billion years ago. And of course, that's the source of the iron that gets taken to Chicago and converted into steel. And steel gets taken and moved into Detroit and it becomes cars. But if these bacteria didn't accumulate the iron to begin with, the iron would be dispersed the way it is on Mars, and it would be unmanageable. The animals come and go. The animals go extinct, but these don't go extinct. They don't go extinct because they're bacteria. In my opinion, bacteria don't go extinct. They don't have a species. They don't have species. They don't go extinct. Why? Because they transfer their genes back and forth reversibly. So what is all life on Earth? What's the real answer to what all life is? It's either bacteria in their own communities like these, or it's bacteria in new kinds of communities which we recognize as plants or animals or protists or fungi. But basically, it's the unit in life is bacteria, and these are communities of bacteria.